Hi, and welcome to Komsky Corner. Today we're going to be talking about computer networks. This video is specifically for the new OCR GCSE Computer Science course, however, it's applicable for most exam boards. To start off with, what exactly is a network? A network can be defined as a collection of computers linked together. It is made up of nodes, which are computers, and links, which are the connections, whether cabled or wireless. The advantages of networks include the fact that it is easy to share files and resources between the computers on the network. Also, updates and management are made easy as they are done centrally. There are two different types of networks, and these are LANs and WANs. LANs are the local area networks, and as the name suggests, they are indeed local, as they cover a small geographical area, for example, a single building, like a house. And the infrastructure of LANs are owned by the network owner. WANs are wide area networks, and these cover a large geographical area. The infrastructure is owned by the telecommunication companies, for example, Sky, EE, BT, etc. It is also worth noting that the Internet is a massive wireless network of computer networks, and that the Internet is an example of a WAN. There are many factors that can affect the performance of these networks, but there are a few main ones that you should remember. The first is the number of users on the network. So the more users, the increased traffic, which reduces the bandwidth available for each user. This worsens the performance of the network. The next factor is whether cabled or wireless transmission is used. We will talk more about this later on in the video, but basically, wireless transmission can be limited by interference such as the walls, as this disrupts the signal. Now let's have a look at the hardware needed to connect computers into a network. The first piece of hardware is called an NIC. This is the network interface controller, and it is used to provide the electrical signals for sending messages on networks, as well as for receiving the incoming signals. As each device sends and receives signals, an NIC is on all devices connected to a network. Then we have the wireless access point. This is the point at which a wirelessly enabled device connects with a network, and it is the device that gives Internet access to the computers via Wi-Fi technology. Next, we have the router. Now, the router is the device that sends data packets between networks. They connect the individual nodes to each other and to the Internet. The next two pieces of network hardware do basically the same thing, with one being more specific and effective than the other. We're talking about hubs and switches. So hubs are less commonly used nowadays, and they are also cheaper. They receive signals from a device and rebroadcast them to all the connected nodes. Switches, on the other hand, send the data packets only to the intended destinations, and not to every connected node. This makes switches more effective, however also more expensive. The connections on a network can be either wired or wireless. Cabled connections, made of copper wire, are often used in buildings for electricity, whereas fiber optic cables are commonly used for light outside buildings and for long distances. Wireless connections are becoming increasingly common in networks, as they are convenient in large public places or with lots of devices, as the physical cabling is not required. However, wireless connections can bring security issues due to being easy to intercept. As we mentioned earlier, transmission speeds are faster in cables rather than wirelessly. Networks are generally classified as either client-server or peer-to-peer. Client-server networks are typically used to organize LANs. It is where one computer is a server that performs services and responds to requests made by clients. These services include file sharing, printing, granting Internet access, etc. The advantages of client-server networks include the fact that everything is done centrally, including the storing of files and the upgrades for ease of access and maintenance. Disadvantages of these networks, however, are that as everything is reliant on this central server, A server failure could break the whole network. Also, these servers are quite expensive. Now let's look at peer-to-peer networks, where all the computers have equal status. Here, the computers work both as clients and as servers. A big advantage is that these networks do not require a central server, so if one of the computers fail, the whole network will not collapse. Peer-to-peer networks are also cheap and easy to set up. However, they are difficult to maintain and often slower than client-server networks. Another disadvantage is that security can be an issue. In this video, we have looked at networks, covering what a network is, the types of networks, and network hardware and transmission media. So if you've enjoyed this video, then please be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more computer science related videos. See you next time. Bye!